Greetings. This is your brother, Black Light. We're going to jump quickly into this right here. This is an analysis of the current events that's happening concerning black people just living in America. Now, my last video I was saying it was the day of separation, cleaning house. Well, sometimes Allah uses different circumstances to separate us from the unrighteous that's among us, the hypocrites, the Boul'e, the homosexuals, because he's getting ready to destroy all of them, along with the Caucasian, the devil. So, this brother here, Ron Martin, he's deeply into politics, and he's talking about Black Lives Matter being assaulted, and I'm going to give commentary after you see what's going on with these two brothers here. But these brothers I characterize as Boul'e. So you got the gay Boul'e, gatekeepers, hypocrites. And I'm warning all my brothers and sisters, especially the young ones, don't go that way. If you are Christian, read the Bible, Sodom and Gomorrah. And if God don't approve of it, you shouldn't approve of it.
People have said they have not been able to handle losing, and so they gathered in Washington, D.C., and the racist domestic terrorists, the Proud Boys, came and acted like the thugs that they are, beating folks, terrorizing folks. But what really has angered people is the tearing down of Black Lives Matter signs from two black churches, Asbury Methodist Church and Metropolitan AME Church as well. Many people are asking, where were the cops? What was going on? Where were the federal authorities? We saw all this huge show of force, and Black Lives Matter was out there protesting, but what about this? Well, Carl Racine is the Attorney General for the District of Columbia, and he joins us right now. Carl, glad to have you in Roland Martin Unfiltered.
How you doing there, Roland? Very proud of your success in killing this platform.
Well, sir, I certainly appreciate it. Thank you so very much. What happened this weekend? It was shocking to see these thugs just rampaging through the streets as if there were no cops around to stop what they were doing. The D.C. police or the federal authorities explain what in the world happened this weekend?
Well, a lot happened this weekend. I think, first of all, the President of the United States executed on his plan as he indicated during the debate with President-elect Joe Biden. You remember the line, stand back but stand by. He is now implementing that plan where he's asking the Proud Boys to no longer stand by. And as you correctly noted, they are a hate group, a white supremacist extremist group, who are obviously trying to destabilize the core principles of equality of our country. With regard to what occurred in the District of Columbia, you had a group of honestly hate mongers out to create havoc and distraction. And once they distracted the Metropolitan Police Department enough, they went ahead, as I'm sure they planned, and sought to desecrate African American churches. There is no coincidence that the AME Church over right by 17th and Rhode Island was targeted. That church, of course, is the sister church to Mother Emanuel in Charleston, where just a few years ago, Dylan Roof executed a number of peaceful and loving parishioners. I'm happy to talk about the Metropolitan Police Department if you would allow me to take another minute. Is that okay?
Sure. Go ahead.
Let me just tell you what I know. And I know this because our lawyers at the Office of Attorney General were following, literally, radio feeds going in and out from the police department to certain law enforcement officials, including our own. The Metropolitan Police Department were literally deluged, minute by minute, with all manner of events. And overwhelmingly, and I'm going to speak very honestly because I don't mind being critical of the police when it is appropriate. Overwhelmingly, the Metropolitan Police Department successfully separated folks who were going to literally go after each other. And we saw stabbings and assaults, and the police were tending to those. They were not in position to protect the entirety of the city, and I'm not being defensive here. I know that if the Metropolitan Police Department could have known that those two churches were going to be targeted, I firmly believe they would have had the appropriate level of security there. I don't think there was any intention nor carelessness, recklessness, or grave neglect on the part of the police department. I think they were trying to do, honestly, the best job they could. And the hate mongers should be the story, not the Metropolitan Police Department, who tried the best they could.
Are you and others analyzing the video? Are there any plans to charge these Proud Boys, these white domestic terrorists, with any crimes?
It's a fair and great question. Let me just say a couple things about the Office of Attorney General of the District of Columbia. As you know, the District of Columbia is an unusual jurisdiction. We don't have the ability as D.C. local prosecutor to actually charge the kind of adult offenses that would be pursued against individuals and indeed the institution that is the Proud Boys. The prosecutor for those events are instead the federal prosecutor. And the federal prosecutor is appointed by the President of the United States. I know that the Metropolitan Police Department is investigating this matter. I wish I could be the prosecutor in my office who could bring these cases. Now's the time to put the pressure on the federal prosecutor to do its job, to bring the hate crime cases against those people who violated the rights of the church and otherwise caused havoc in our streets.
Well, it certainly was shocking and stunning for a lot of people to see what happened, to see what they did, desecrating those two black churches. Clearly, they were targeted as well, and so we certainly hope that the federal government would do what they're supposed to do. Well, again, what we're dealing with is, of course, Donald Trump and his minions as well. But
exactly right. The leader of the Proud Boys visited the White House. Get this right. A hate group leader visited the White House. And then, hours later, went about desecrating black churches.